hour. Today we are talking about love, and it is Libra season finally. The sun entered Libra on the 23rd, and it will be there until October 23rd. And this is our opportunity to really focus and bring the love into all of our relationships. So Libra, as we know, it rules balance. We were talking about that. It rules harmony, balance, and wants everybody to get along. It wants social order. It wants fairness. And I think we can all agree that that is something that we would like to see brought to the table right now. So Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. Venus rules two signs. It rules Taurus and Libra. And in Taurus, it's more sensual, likes the arts, anything that feels good. That's where it's going to be more of a sexual love. In Libra, it's definitely more of a relationship love. And we have all types of relationships. We have friendships, we have romantic relationships, we have boss and employee relationships, family relationships. So everything that we have in our life, we have some sort of relationship to. And it's how do we bring balance and harmony and love to those areas of our life. Now, talking about Venus, she's been in Leo for quite some time now, where she's been a lot of fun. She enjoys being in Leo, but now she's moving into Virgo, and this is happening on October 3rd, right at the beginning of the month, and she will be there until October 29th. She's not super happy or comfortable in the sign of Virgo. Virgo's about details, order, wants to get things done. That's not a happy place for Venus. She wants to have a good time and feel good. So she's going to be a little bit more nitpicky, could be a little bit more critical of others, critical of ourselves. So really to be watching that mind space that we might get into when we're being overly critical, and to remember to bring in the balance of Libra, of that Libra energy. And we also have Mercury, who will be leaving the sign of Libra, where we've actually seen, believe it or not, that the most diplomatic communication we're going to get this year, and it's moving out of Libra on the 28th into the sign of Scorpio, and it's actually going to retrograde in Scorpio and will be in the sign of Scorpio until December. This is where communication gets really intense. It gets really murky. But what I like about it going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio is it literally, and excuse my language, but it literally will bring the shit to the surface. We are going to find out what's really going on. And we all need that right now. We need some actual truth, some actual facts. And, for everything, there's just so much miscommunication and misinformation swirling around out there that this Mercury retrograde is actually going to help to surface it and give us some clarity. So, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to come right to the surface. We'll have to do some digging, and definitely it will be intense, and expect lots of intense back and forth communication from all sides and all people while this is going on. And the other thing we have going on too is this full moon in Aries, and that's happening on the first day of October, October 1st. We're starting this month off with a bang. And, full moon in Aries, this is really going to bring any egotistical behavior again to a head. We're going to start to see things shift. It's almost like we're so full that this is going to be sort of the exploding point. This is where we just can't pack any more of what we've had to go through this year. We can't pack any more in, and it just starts to overflow. And the good thing about this overflow we're having in October, though, is that once this happens and everything comes to the surface, we can start to work towards a resolution. And that's really ultimately the goal, is to get a resolution for everything that's going on this year. Now, mid-October, we have the sun in Libra squaring, it's a T-square with that Mars retrograde over in Aries, and then the Pluto that we have in Capricorn. And then just a day or two after that, the sun is going to square Saturn in Capricorn. So mid-October, we can expect a lot of tensions to arise. I would expect, we keep having these unforeseen, like, what, this, now this, now this. There's going to be something else happening around this time. So October, that's why I just keep talking about we need to bring the love in. How much love are we capable of expressing, and how much love are we capable of experiencing? And this is the questions to really ask ourselves right now, because ultimately, the human purpose is to experience and express love. That is why we are alive, is to experience and express love. And all these tensions that have been arising this year and that are about to continue, to come to the surface, is giving us an opportunity to really reach far and wide within ourselves and see what are we capable of loving. If it's something we don't agree with, if it's something we think is terrible, horrible, and there's plenty of it out there right now, can we still find love? Can we find it within ourselves to extend the love, to stay in the love, and to really ground ourselves there and not get caught up in the storm? And that is the gift. That is the blessing, but we have to use our tools in order to access these powers that we have. So as spiritual beings, we're being given an opportunity to really grow here on our spiritual paths. But as human beings, we're being given opportunities to sort of get down deeper in the muck. And especially with this Mercury retrograde that's happening in Scorpio, it will be easy to get caught up in the muck. So my advice is stay out of the muck. If you find anything that, you're like, ask yourself, is that love? Is what I'm seeing, is what I'm reading, is what I'm hearing, is that love? And if it's not love, then get rid of it and get it out of your life. Don't engage with it anymore and continue to raise your vibration. It's going to be a tricky, tricky October. Some people are already talking about the 2 full moons we're having. So we're having this first full moon that we talked about in Aries. The second full moon, it's on Halloween, and that one's going to be in the sign of Taurus. So we've got, ample energy in October to really activate things. And it's our choice. We all always have a choice. Do we want it to activate the anger and the hatred inside of us, or do we want to activate the love? And remind yourself, make your choice and remind yourself every day and everything that comes up, what do I choose? Because love is a choice. Thank you, everybody. Be well. Next up, we have Carrie Berkey.
Hi, I'm Carrie Berkey, and I'm the author of the Free Spirit Guidebook. And thank you, Kimberly. Wow, a lot going on astrologically. And I'm hoping what I have to share will help you balance some of the stuff that she said's coming up, things coming to a head. And we're going to kind of tap into a little bit of that Libra energy and also a little bit about that extending love out. So one of the lessons in this book is called Knowing Your Chakras. And the heart chakra is associated with love and relationships. So I thought it was great that Kimberly said that relationships is something that's even going to be coming up too. So in here, I have a description of like which is deficient and then when you are excessive. So the heart chakra is green. And with this, you might be feeling deficient if you are feeling antisocial, you're lacking empathy, or you've been feeling critical. And then you might be excessive if you're experiencing poor boundaries, jealousy, and you have a lot of people-pleasing activities. And what's fascinating about this is you can be both. So to tap into a little bit of that Libra energy, we're going to try to bring a little balance to this chakra today. And then we're going to do something that's going to help you extend love out too. And then what I want you to know, if you have this book or you look up how you feel deficient or excessive, what we're about to do, you can do with any of the chakras. So we're going to do a little guided meditation. So I want you to sit up tall and maybe roll your shoulders a couple times. It's always good to feel like you get a little release, a little shift before you go into meditation. And then let your shoulders relax. Just feel like your spine is long, but you're sitting comfortably. Close your eyes. So we're going to deepen the breath, and I want your focus to be around the heart center. So not just the chest. Feel like you get the breath down to the rib cage, and each inhale, feel it expand. And then when you exhale, draw back in. So really first, we're getting in touch with this heart chakra, heart center, your center for love and relationships with your breath. So listen to your breath and then feel your body expand when you inhale, draw in as you exhale. If that feels good, you can continue with the deep breaths. If you rather, you can just let the breath relax. But keeping your awareness right at your heart center, in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine just a big glowing ball of green light all around your heart. And now I want you to picture the word love right in the middle of it. And so know that you always have access to love. Love is always right in the center here. And I want you to give yourself a little bit more of it. So even if your breath is relaxed, I just want you to inhale and you feel like the sphere gets bigger. And then when you exhale, feel like it grows even larger. And so I want you to see on your exhales that you can get it to the point that you imagine yourself sitting where you are and that you are now in that ball of green energy, green light. And now the word love is really large and you're in it. So you're surrounded by love. You are love. You're connected to love. Might feel good here to deepen the breath a little bit, just to really get that expansive feeling. So depending where you are right now on feeling deficient or excessive or just on your life journey, this might be exactly what you need. You might need to just have extending love to yourself and just feel beautiful, safe, surrounded by love. You can stay here. If it feels good, I want you to imagine that you're extending that green, loving energy out to the people closest to you. So if there's people in your house or maybe your apartment building or your neighborhood, I want you to imagine it extending out to them if that feels comfortable for you right now. Just allow that inhale to bring more energy to the green chakra, to the heart chakra, and to the love. And then with each exhale, see if you can push it out further, past your city lines, filling your state. Just imagine that green light, love. That word love's getting bigger. It's extending in every direction. It's also extending up and down into the earth and above into the sky. And again, see if you can extend it even farther. It's going to your country. Depending on where you are, maybe it's going into the neighboring countries. And if it feels good, have it go even farther and watch this green light coming from your heart going around the globe. And with the next couple breaths, see if you can get it, the whole globe. You picture the globe surrounded in this green, loving light. The word love is going all around, through, around, everywhere. Just loving, positive, green light. And for a moment, just feel the whole world experiencing love. A moment of love. And then you imagine that all that love that everybody's experiencing is now coming back to you. Now take your hands, put your hands over your heart center. Take some deep breaths here. You are loving, you are lovable. You're able to extend love, you're filled with love, you're surrounded by love. So to really kind of lock this in, I want you to take a really deep inhale and you're going to hold it maybe for a count of 11 if that's too long. Don't worry, exhale before, but really deep inhale, hold, and then when you're ready, exhale. Just take a moment here, let your hands come down, keep your eyes closed. Just want to notice, you can check in to see how you feel. Depending on how you take information in, you might kind of hear some guidance right now. You might kind of get a vision. You might download some information, or you just might feel more relaxed. And so know anytime you feel disconnected to love, check in with your heart center. And sometimes it might feel good just to have that energy right here or just around you. And then other times when you feel like you maybe have a little extra or you feel ready to give it, send it all around the world. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Stacy.
Hi, everybody. Carrie, that was so beautiful. I encourage consumers of cannabis, if you are not high now watching this, to do that and experience what she just gave you, and guaranteed you will experience it on a totally different level. So thank you so much. So I just wanted to talk about the Weed Shaman Collaborative that I started about 3 years ago. And that was really because it was the love of the cannabis plant. And I was working with a company at that time who was helping seniors get off of opioids, because we know that the opioid problem, which we haven't heard very much of during this year, and probably thank God, because we have all enough on our plates, I think, but it's still happening. And it is still a really, really big problem in the United States. So we wanted to kind of decriminalize that plant a little bit. It's been vilified for a little bit, and we want to let people know that it is an available medicine. When we started, I think it was still, you had to have your script from a doctor, but now it's everyone can use, adult use. And as we continue to learn more and more about the plant and the cannabinoids and the terpenes and everything that is truly medicine for us, I just think that it's just a good opportunity. We're all feeling so many emotions on the day-to-day, and we are going from joy to frustration to annoyance to anger to love to all of these things. And to the conscious cannabis consumer, which is my big party line, and it doesn't necessarily happen when you first start consuming cannabis, but maybe you're a little bit down the road and you've been doing it for a few years. This is a perfect opportunity for us just to maintain our own patch of land. I call it my little pie slice. When I'm not talking about cannabis or consuming cannabis or helping people figure out what they want, I am a massage therapist and an esthetician, and I'm lucky to be in a county in California where we can actually see clients. And so I'm hearing all of the stories from people, the suffering, the happiness, the babies that are being born, the people, you know, who are getting sick. I mean, everybody has got something that, even more so than COVID, even more so than the political climate, they're dealing with other things personally, including guilt and shame about like all the movements and what we're doing to change things up and how we are all participating or not participating. And people are really concerned about the elections that are coming up in November, and you can feel all of it in their body. There's tension, there's release, there's crying during services, there's laughter. And we've just sort of been talking one-on-one to people and like, what if the thing happens in November that you don't want to happen, and fill that in for everybody. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. And I just think keeping our pie slice, finding joy, however we need to find joy and happiness on the daily, like that is something that you would do, just like you would meditate, just like you would feed yourself, just like you would exercise. I think this is going to be the thing that helps us anchor in to love, because some days it's really hard to find the connection. And everyone has talked about, you know, the overarching things that are happening with astrology, but it is within us, the healing modality, the love, the connection. And when you consciously consume after a hard day, say even like you're a mama and you've had to be teaching your kids and your husband and this and that, but it's nighttime and you just take a little bit and you take your edible or you have a little puff, and you just think to yourself, I said to myself, because I do this often, like, just help me find the self-compassion. Help me find the softness in what was a really hard day. And you guys, I'm telling you, it's magical. Just give yourself that moment in time, feel the feeling. If it's a negative feeling, just don't park your car there. Experience it, express it, but also know that you are a human being living in unprecedented times. Give yourself a break. Love yourself as best you can. And if you have days where that's just not possible, again, no judgment. Try again the next day. Okay? I wish you guys all a great day. And up next is Paula Shaw.
Hi. Thank you all so much for so much great information. You know, in thinking about this, first I should introduce myself. I'm Paula Shaw. I'm the author of Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say, and Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? also Chakras, the Magnificent Seven, which I don't have a copy of with me right now. And I'm the host of Change It Up Radio. And as it happens, yesterday on my radio show, I was talking about love because, like the others have been saying, it's certainly something we need plenty of right now because we're all overwhelmed. There's a lot going on in the world, and particularly in our country. And one of the things that occurred to me is love itself is like as good as it gets. Love is pure, and love is really simple. The relationships that we create, though, through love and around love can be complex, can be painful, can be joyful, can be ecstatic. You know, we experience so many emotions through this vehicle of love. But love itself, and everybody's been kind of saying, let's come back to love. And I think if we keep that in mind, love in its purest sense is a healer. It gives us reason to live. It gives us vitality. It gives us joy. But the relationships can sometimes be complicated. I wanted to share with you today something I read 3 years ago, and I've saved it because I thought the words were just incredibly wise about love and loving relationships, particularly when they become difficult. So it was written by a guy named Jeff Brown, and I have tried Googling who he is, and I got hockey players and other people that I don't think are him. So let me just say thank you, Jeff, wherever and whoever you are. These are his words. Sometimes people walk away from love because it is so beautiful that it terrifies them. Sometimes they leave because the connection shines a bright light on their dark places and they're not ready to work them through. Sometimes they run away because they're not developmentally prepared to merge with another. They have more individuation work to do first. Sometimes they take off because love is not a priority in their lives. They have another path and purpose to walk first. Sometimes they end it because they prefer a relationship that is more practical than conscious, one that does not threaten the ways that they organize reality. Because so many of us carry shame, we have a tendency to personalize love's leavings, triggered by the rejection and feelings of abandonment. But this is not always true. Sometimes it has nothing to do with us. Sometimes the one who leaves is just not ready to hold it safe. Sometimes they know something we don't. They know their limits at that moment in time. Real love is no easy path. Readiness is everything. May we grieve loss without personalizing it. May we learn to love ourselves in the absence of the lover. And that's the last note I want to leave you all with. If we're going to be good at loving others, if we're going to be good at coming from love, it has to begin with us. It has to begin with self-love. It has to begin with taking care of who we are and dropping the judgment and the criticism and just loving ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and caring for ourselves. So thank you for joining us today. All of you out there, stay focused on love. I think it's the best shot we've got. And if you'd like more information about any of the practitioners here on the Holistic Happy Hour, just go to holistichappyhour.org. Thanks for being with us.